Sociology, Gang Leader for a Day by Sudhir Venkatesh. Introduction. Sociologists have always been interested in exploring different aspects of people's lives and various social trends. Some areas, however, remain difficult to analyze or even access. Gangs are an example of one of these hard-to-study groups. This is due to many reasons. Gangs' criminal activity makes gang members cautious about accepting new people and revealing any information and details associated with their lives. Sociologists have to rely mainly on surveys, criminal justice statistics, and interviews. Observations have been rarely employed due to the reasons mentioned above and the considerable risk to the researcher's health, or even life, that fieldwork would entail. Sudhir Venkatesh is a sociologist who gained specific insights into a Chicago gang's life. This paper reviews his book Gang Leader for a Day, a rogue sociologist takes to the streets. This review includes a brief analysis of the book's contents and its value and a brief comparison with another sociological study on gangs. Contents. The book under analysis provides Venkatesh's description of his research over a decade. The purpose of his study was to explore a gang's life and activities and its members' interactions with various stakeholders. The author tried to examine how the gang and the community interacted. Venkatesh investigated the life inside the Black Kings, a Chicago gang that was involved in a myriad of illegal activities, including, but not confined to, drug distribution, squatting, prostitution, and robbery. The primary business of the gang was drug dealing, and the leader was a young man named J.T. The author explained the details of his future research and asked the permission of the gang leader to observe their lives. The permission was granted, and the young sociologist began his journey by observing different criminal activities, as well as talking with the members of the gang, their parents, officials, prostitutes, drug dealers, and other stakeholders. The researcher also attended various events, including parties, family dinners, and business meetings. Venkatesh claimed he tried to provide as many details and accurate dialogues as possible. Value. The main reason behind conducting the study was the desire to address the gap in the knowledge base related to gangs and their peculiarities. The author's major finding is that the gang he observed was not acting outside and against the community, as some people believed. Instead, gang members often helped the community in many ways, which made the people living in poor neighborhoods have positive attitudes toward the gang and its members. These findings are consistent with the evidence provided by other sociologists, which will be discussed in detail below. Venkatesh's research is sociological, as the author focuses on behaviors, cultures, and worldviews rather than crime and its associated issues. Venkatesh emphasized that he did not make notes when he was with gang members to make them feel at ease. The author wrote up all his experiences and observations, as well as conversations he heard or participated in, every day when he was alone. This method is associated with a lack of reliability as the researcher did not record exact words. Moreover, although the sociologist seems to use thick descriptions as the primary method of data presentation, his account still lacks data and details. Another limitation of this research, which Venkatesh identified, was his limited access to the gang's activities. He argued that he could only observe things he was allowed to see. Overall, the evidence provided is rather insufficient, and the reliability of many parts is doubtful. The book also lacked references to other studies that could have enhanced the validity of the researcher's findings and placed them in the context of other sociological research on gangs. As mentioned above, the book can be compared to other works and studies. In this review, the book by Venkatesh will be compared with an acclaimed research project carried out by Sanchez-Jankowski. Islands in the Street, Gangs and American Urban Society is a description of the research that involved several gangs. The author observed the life of gang members, had interviews with different stakeholders, used statistics, and analyzed existing evidence. Just like Venkatesh, Sanchez-Jankowski had to become a particular kind of member of the groups he explored. Both authors had to face a plethora of ethical issues as they witnessed different crimes but did not go to the police. In a way, they became accessories to some crimes and participated in certain violent acts, such as fights. For instance, Sanchez-Jankowski was checked and tested before any information was shared. Comparison. Unlike Venkatesh, Sanchez-Jankowski did record his interviews and made field notes openly. The author noted that he had 2 notebooks and 2 tape recorders for this purpose. The book by Sanchez-Jankowski contains more detail and a deeper analysis of the gangs and their members' behavior. The author refers to other studies, which makes his research more evidence-based compared to Venkatesh's account, which often seems a piece of fictional writing rather than the description of a sociological investigation. It is noteworthy that both authors used observation as their primary data collection method, and the participants in their research were aware of this fact. Therefore, behaviors and accounts could be shaped in order to comply with specific images, rules, and norms. Finally, Sanchez-Jankowski interviewed different stakeholders to obtain deeper insights into their lives, while Venkatesh had conversations that were not recorded or planned in any way. All these differences indicate that the main book under study by Venkatesh lacks a certain scholarly focus and can be regarded rather as a piece of journalistic writing with some elements of a sociological study. Conclusion. In conclusion, it is necessary to note that the book by Venkatesh is a valuable source of information concerning gangs in the United States. Although it lacks evidence, details, and support from other scholarly sources, the book still provides many insights into the ways some representatives of a Chicago gang behave and feel. The author also describes various activities of gang members and the way it feels like inside of this group. The book does not present a novel interpretation as many researchers, including Sanchez-Jankowski, provide similar data, stressing that gangs are not outside communities. These subgroups can be regarded as the natural reaction of communities to institutional flaws. Although the book lacks a scholarly focus, it does raise new questions and adds to researchers' sociological knowledge. For me, the significant questions are related to ethical aspects, as the researcher witnessed violence and a number of crimes. It is clear that it can be challenging to draw the line between field research and compliance with laws and social norms when it comes to conducting a sociological study of a gang.